Hello and welcome to another video. The boiler we're looking at today is a 24i ERP, which is a condensing combi boiler. The specific problem, the fault we're dealing with today is a leaking flow turbine adapter on these models, and the one previous to this one as well, which used to be a Junior, a 24i Junior, or even a CDI Classic. The flow turbine adapter used to leak on these boilers, and a typical indication of that leak on this boiler would be that there would be a drip coming from the underside of where the turbine connects, which is just above the green diverter valve cover, as you can see right in front of your screen. This is what we'll look at, how to replace the flow turbine adapter. So don't think that the turbine is leaking, it'll be the adapter which is at the back which needs replacing, okay? And I'll show you in a second. This is where the drip will be underneath the flow turbine. A typical indication would be there would be a drip from underneath dropping onto the green cover for the diverter valve, okay? So first things first, we'll turn off the power to the boiler. So we found the fuse spur to the boiler, and we've turned the fuse spur off. You take the fuse out, check, make sure it's the 3M fuse, okay? Next, what I'm doing here is I am removing or disconnecting the cable, the connector for the flow turbine itself. The good thing is you can disconnect it just by disconnecting a cable connector. Then with a flathead screwdriver, I have turned off the cold water mains supply going into the boiler, okay? This way, when you remove the flow turbine, you can remove it and work on it. You don't need to drain the heating system down or anything else. Okay, so I've got a fixed open end spanner which I use to undo the cold water connection to the boiler. What I'm doing is I'm just pushing up the cold water pipe going inside the boiler. What it does is while you have your hot water tap open in the kitchen in the wash basin somewhere, from that tap, when you push this pipe up, it allows air to go into the boiler and it allows the port pipe to drain down. Try to open a tap which is on a lower level than the boiler itself. Okay, this is just to allow the draining down. Then I pushed up the retaining clip which retains the cold water pipe to the turbine. This is what the clip looks like. And behind this golden or brass, there is on your right, on the right of your screen, the turbine sits behind it, and behind that there is an adapter, okay? So where the arrows are, this is where we're going to pull on the pipe, okay? Which will not only remove the pipe, it will pull out the flow turbine itself as well, right? It's easier this way to pull all of this in one piece. So hand on that pipe, support on the side of the body of the boiler, and then pull on that pipe that rinses out any residual water. Because there's a cover on the diverter valve, it saves the motor itself. I know it looks a bit horrid that the water's just dripping onto something, but it is a cover for that purpose, okay? So this is the flow turbine, the black component, and with the flathead screwdriver, I'm removing the flow turbine from the connecting pipe, the cold water inlet pipe, okay? Flow turbines come off just to give us a bit more room to work on the adapter itself. So this is what the flow turbine is, and this is the connector for the flow turbine itself. It's got 3 flat pins for this model. There would be 3 thin pins on other models as well, but on this one there are 3 flat pins, okay? On your screen you can see a directional arrow, so the pointy bit of the arrow is going onto the turbine adapter, which is to the back, other slides to the front. So with this bend nose plier, I'm just showing you how to pull on the adapter. So where I pointed the arrow, this is where you pull the adapter outwards, okay? So otherwise, you might struggle to pull it out because there are O-rings on it and it's properly stuck in its position. So you need some sort of, maybe you can use a pump plier as well, but I've always used this bent nose plier, which helps out on the purpose of pulling this adapter out because it will break and then come out in most cases, okay? So as I told you, with the bent nose plier, I put it on where the hinge was I showed you on the previous screen and just pull on it, okay? With a bit of force, it will come out. And as you can see, it has come forward, then you can remove it with your hand. Bring it forward. When your flow turbine adapter, it will break in most cases. In this repair, it didn't break, but it had a hairline crack which was causing the water leak. But even if it breaks, you have to fish out the broken components from inside where this adapter was sitting, because those components, one, they're essential to be replaced onto the new flow turbine adapter. Secondly, if they're left in place, you won't be able to put the new adapter in, okay? So this is just to show you where it would break. It would break just behind the nut, which you can see at the front of your screen, okay? So to replace this adapter and put the internals inside the adapter, I'll show you what those components are. You must remove those and then put them into the new flow turbine adapter, okay? You just need to pull them out. This is a flow restrictor adapter which holds the flow restrictor inside the flow turbine. And there is another one which you will need to remove from the adapter itself. So if you look inside, this orange thing, it will be white. It can be white, it can be orange, purple, brown in different models. So the second restrictor holder, these 2 white bits, this is the orange one you can see on the screen, or you could see on the screen, was the flow restrictor, okay? So these things will go into the new adapter itself. This is the part number for the new adapter. This is what it comes in the pack, the adapter and some seals, and the nut for the adapter as well, okay? The new adapter is out of the packet. Firstly, what you do, obviously I'm showing you the O-rings which come with different types of O-rings, one fiber washer which is 1/2 inch, and the nut itself as well. First thing you do is where your flow restrictor was, the orange bit in the white holder, the white container, put them both together as I'm showing you on the screen. They will go back together like pieces of Lego. They connect within each other, and then they go in this way. So where the hook is, you will be able to see the orange or the flow restrictor through that little opening, not where the nut is, okay? Once both of these restrictors are in, you put the nut on, then it will be time to put the O-rings on. So where I've just pointed to, this is where the larger O-ring goes on, okay? Because it can be a bit confusing because there are different sizes of O-rings, and you can't really tell. So you can see on the screen where the O-ring has gone on just behind the nut, and on the other side where the hook is, the smaller O-ring will go on. Okay, and you can see on the screen where the O-rings have actually gone onto. And this is exactly the same for Genius and CDI Classics as well, alright? So what I do is I put some silicone grease on these O-rings because obviously they will propose a lot of resistance when you start putting this back into its position. And before putting the restrictor of the flow turbine adapter, I pre-join it to the flow turbine itself. As you can see, the arrow is pointing towards the adapter. On your screen, the arrow should be pointing to the adapter, so it's pointing backwards, not front. Okay? So this way, you slowly turn it, and then the adapter goes in first, and the turbine stays at the front. Okay? So push the connector for the adapter or the flow turbine aside, and I'm just trying to show you in detail how it goes in. And if you've got silicone grease or some sort of a lubricant on the O-rings, it will go in easy. You don't need to worry about anything. Okay, so now for the pipe, there's an O-ring on the pipe which goes into the front of the turbine as well. So I'm just gently putting some silicone grease or any lubricant. If it's silicone grease, put it on the O-ring. If you put too much, there is a strainer as well inside this pipe connection. If it blocks, the silicone grease blocks the strainer, the little mesh, it can restrict the flow of water, so bear in mind. You will know what I'm talking about once you're working on the boiler itself. Okay, so I've lined the connections up, fiber seal on the connection coming into the boiler, which I'm tightening now. The fiber seal was okay. So I've used the existing fiber seal, I've left it in situ, and I've pushed in the top. This you push in with the bend which you used to pull this out before the clip will go in very easily if the turbine and everything is pushed in correctly. Okay, if your clip is not going in, something is not right, remove and check, okay? If you haven't got anything left, old pieces of plastic left inside, if there are, it will not go in and your clip will not connect. So the flat side, the straight side of the clip, I put on the right side first, leave it a bit diagonal, okay? And then again with a long nose plier, I grip the top of the clip and then push it leftwards so the bend side comes in to where it should be on the left side as well. And then, as I said before, if there's nothing wrong where the flow turbine and adapter's gone into the slot, if there's no old metal, there's no old pieces of plastic left, it will go in really easily. Now to tighten back up the cold water inlet connection to the boiler, I'm using the same spanner. Just tighten it. Don't go crazy on this connection because obviously it's got a fiber washer. If you tighten it too much, it will break the washer and you will have a leak, okay? So I've just tightened up the nut on the cold water mains going in, then opened up the cold water supply to the boiler with the same screwdriver we used before, then ran a tab. Obviously after the water is resumed, you check for leaks. If there's any leak at all, you run taps and you make sure that there is no leak. Once there is no leak, I've reconnected the connector which I disconnected earlier, just to make sure to reconnect it, because you do everything, you forget this connector, customer will not have any hot water, okay? So turn the power back on to the boiler. You can see the displays come on. We run the hot water, and on the display it will show a hot water tap symbol confirming, as you can see on the screen, that hot water has come on and the hot water is working nicely for the customer. So this is just a video to show you what's the indication if an adapter is damaged, how to replace it. As I said previously, it's very similar to Juniors and CDI Classic, slightly older models. If you come across this, hopefully this video has helped you to understand how it should be removed and what to take care of and what to do and what not to do, okay? So if you found this video helpful, as always, please subscribe to my channel, like the video, share the video, press the bell icon so you get notified whenever I upload any new videos, and thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.